Hey guys, you see what's happening now. Most of you see what's happening now. I said it this morning before anything. I'm going to take these glasses off and look you right in your eye before anything started. I said this morning, expect an about turn for the media. Didn't I say it? Did I say that or not? Didn't I tell you in advance that the media was going to change in 180 degrees in respect to Kyrie Irving? Didn't I tell you that the NBA would never, ever ban Kyrie Irving? Didn't I tell you? I told you, didn't I? And I'm going to let you know. Since I've started talking about this, two major things have happened. My page and channel is just blown up. I mean, the amazing response I have from my new subscribers, black people all over the world, other ethnicities, people from Malaysia, people from Cape Verde, but black people, Malaysian people, all over the world have run to this channel to say, we support Kyrie Irving, right? And I'm not going to take any credit for that. You guys supported a movement that I'm not going to I'm not leading it. Kyrie is. And also the second thing that's happened, and luckily we have this incredible algorithm on YouTube that stops many of the just plethora of horrible things that people want to say on a stream, and it's cutting them down. But I've gone in there and I've taken a look, and yeah, I've got some vitriol. I've got some people that have said some ugly things. But I ain't afraid of none of you ninjas. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's amazing. But this is some of the thing I want to bring up. One of the comments that hurt me the most that I got in my inbox. I don't know people, and hurting me is really hard because I've got a little. My heart's mostly rock. There's a little tiny bit of flesh in it for my boo and my daughters. But this one hurt me though, and I'm gonna get into some other stuff really quickly. But a black Ethiopian messaged me and said that I hate Jews, and I have a lot of experience with the black Ethiopian community, a lot. First of all, one of my sons, I have him with an Ethiopian woman. He's in a little trouble now, this boy. He's a troubled child. But the Ethiopian community, when I was dealing with his mother, one of the greatest frustrations I've had, and I apologize if this doesn't apply to all of you, but the Ethiopian community doesn't refer to itself as black. Did you know that? They refer to themselves as Ethiopian. They refer to us as black. Did you know that? The Ethiopian community doesn't refer to us as black, themselves as black. They call us the black guys, and they refer to themselves as Ethiopian. And it reminded me of that when this gentleman came and felt that I was saying negative things about Jews. A black Ethiopian. I've had I've had some white Jews who've said some horrible things too, like cursing. I don't understand how you claim to be a religious person, but then you come on a page or a channel and you start cussing and swearing and saying all kind of y'all something else, eh? Y'all something else. But I mean, that's people. But regardless of that one brother, I'm here to let you know you're still my brother. Yeah, you might not see me as your brother, but I'm still your brother. And we got to add this to it. Stephen A. Smith, that old turncoat, goat mouth Negro. Now he's standing 10 toes down behind Jaylen Brown and the NBA Players Association, and he's saying, "Oh, it's excessive, and I'll lead the march. I'll raise holy hell, and the black community won't stand for it." Oh, you goat mouth Negro. But you know what? You're my brother, Stephen A. You're my brother. You're getting paid. You're getting paid millions of dollars to say what they tell you to say. But you know what? At least you came around eventually, bro. You know what? I hope you really find your voice one of these days, man. I hope you really find your voice one of these days. But Jaylen Brown, as I said in one of my earlier posts, and the Players Association, and I call them the Nicodemuses of the NBA, the players who are like not comfortable with that, not comfortable with the conditions of Kyrie Irving. Congratulations. I told you also that all Kyrie had to do was just wait. Just sit down and wait. Didn't I tell you this? All he has to do is wait. He can wait them out. Come on now. Some of y'all who follow me, you know I said it to you. Because I dive into my comments. I talk to people in my comments. I'll try to like as much things as I can. You know, there's a lot of comments from me now. But I still do. I want to hear what you're saying. I want, you guys, I feed off of you. And I tell you, straight up. And I learned from my subscribers too. I listen to some of the things you say. I learn a lot of what you said. Shannon Sharp, that goat mouth, brother. He's that trout mouth. he out there talking crazy now. He's saying it's excessive, Skip. It's excessive. Okay, all right, Shannon. You know what? I don't mind that. One brother said it like this. I'm gonna steal this from him. It's never too late to grow a backbone. It's never too late. One thing that I have never had to deal with, because I'm a man of integrity, not a man of means, is I've never had to look at my incredible wealth and say, my gosh, I'm going to have to leave my self-respect and my integrity behind because I don't want to lose that bag. But you know who's never said that in my hearing and in my viewpoint? Our brother Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was willing to leave that money on the table. That's what makes a man great. Muhammad Ali was ready to leave money on the table. That's what makes a man great. Even another thing too that comes to life. I talked about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar this morning and how it must be so hard to be so irrelevant that you have to find young, brilliant men, black men, to criticize just to make your old, decrepit self relevant. It's a terrible thing, Kareem. But my hat goes off to Money Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather has absolutely nothing to gain by running to Kyrie's defense. He's been criticized. They call him ignorant and all these kind of things. They say he can't read and all kinds of things. But he took the time to prepare a video, and he wrote it down, a coherent video supporting Kyrie. And it taught me something, because we know that Mayweather is one of the smartest individuals when it came to his own promotion. He cut out the middleman. And it lets me know that there is a place where you are standing in your own wealth, where you and God have built that house, that proverbial house yourself. The scripture says it like this: if God doesn't build the house, the workmen labor in vain. And Mayweather has built such a wealth product for himself that he can look and say, hey, I can say anything I want. Nobody can burn me down. I like that about his situation, because we see that didn't work for Kyrie, right? Not Kyrie, Kanye. Kanye's house is being burnt down by his mouth, where Mayweather, he's impeachable. And he said, I'm gonna be one of the few to stand up and say, Kyrie, I'm right behind you, brother. Look at now LeBron James. LeBron James put out a post about a 21 Savage song talking about we spending Jewish money. How culturally, stupendously insensitive to the timing to put a quote like that out at this time, when you are battening down the hatches throwing Kyrie Irving under the bus, saying that Kyrie hurt people, and you, as a foolish mega billionaire, I don't know what to call LeBron James. He is a mass merchandising culprit of poor social timing, I think, at sometimes. And the fact that he would put that up there now, and just to draw this level of scrutiny to himself, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know why he decided to do. And then, of course, he has to turn around and apologize for it. He looked ridiculous because, you know, he got pushed back, and they said this is the kind of thing that people are talking about with Jewish people, talking about Jewish money, and, you know, because right now, Jewish people feel, and the Zionists feel, that they are untouchable. You can't talk about them. Listen to me. I've had so many Jewish people come even now on this channel, and you know they're trying to fight, and they're trying to misinterpret and misunderstand the things that are coming out of my mouth. And I haven't said anything negative about Jewish people. But I've slammed the Zionists. I've slammed you, and I'll never take my foot off your neck. And I'll never take my foot off your neck. Never. Because like I said, to me, one gentleman, I think he had a different interpretation of what Zionism is for him. The state of Israel and the prophetic fulfillment of a nation will be made in one day, being fulfilled in 1948, and the state of Israel is what God intended. So let's get that straight. Zionism is not what God intended. The state of Israel, and Israel being a sovereign nation, and Jews of all ethnicities, of all creeds. We see this in the book of Acts, that Jews came from everywhere at in the day of Pentecost, and saw and listened to what the Apostle Peter's words were when the Holy Spirit fell on those new Christians in the upper room, full of exousia and dunamis power. And they saw the miracles of God, having every new Christian talking in their languages. The Jews from everywhere saw that. So being a Jew in Israel is a fulfillment of God. But Zionism, that wants to say that a certain sect of Gentiles, the house of Japheth, that sits in the tents of Shem, and those are the only Jews. Now, come on now. We're going to fight you. We're going to fight you because it's not true. You know it's not true. So you guys have to interpret what we're saying and understand what we're saying. And another person in my comments, I guess I'm talking about my comments today, said that you go appropriate somebody else's culture. You blacks are not Jewish. We're Jewish. Wow. Ooh, go appropriate somebody else's culture. Who has had their culture appropriated more than us? There is no Jewish household in the world that doesn't have, well, they're not record players anymore, but doesn't have a music arsenal full of black music. I'm a big man. I'm an ex-cop. Okay. I'm very well trained. Weapons, fighting. I'm a bad man. And you know what many Jewish people look for me for, even in the city that I live in? They look for me for protection. They want me to come to their homes when they have bar mitzvahs. They want me to watch their establishments. They want me to be personal security guards for their scenarios. And they want me to protect them, because Jewish people have great relations with blacks when it comes to certain things. Protection, music. There ain't no sport like basketball that Jewish people love. So that's that symbiotic relationship between the NBA and the Jewish community. That's why it exists. Plus, the Jewish businessmen understood that they couldn't break it. They couldn't break into Major League Baseball. They certainly can get into football. And they found their way of saying, hey, this is a franchise that Jews can own, and we can have a relationship with black players and build our wealth. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, that much of Jewish wealth has been built on the back of black people. It is the very truth and facts of the current culture that we live in the 20th and 21st century. And I'm sorry if you think that these are stereotypes, but they are not. They are realities. And I've been around this rock long enough to say these things and to say them with 10 toes down, because they have been true for me and true for many other black people around the world. And if you think that is an insult, that's too bad. How can you be insulted when you are the recipient of blessings that came because of sweat that came off of brows with pigment, melanated brows? Don't get upset. Thank me. Appreciate me. I appreciate you when you write my check. I appreciate you when I do my business deal. I appreciate you. But I'm going to call you out on your nonsense too. Kyrie Irving, his problem really wasn't even really a Jewish problem. His problem wasn't a Jewish problem. I told you, Jewish people, you don't have a war with black folk. It'll backfire on you. Isn't it backfiring on you? Isn't it backfiring on you? You think Nike's going to recover? It's backfiring on you. It wasn't your war. You know whose war it was? It was Joseph Tsai's war. Kyrie Irving didn't want to respond to him. And in Kyrie's defense, he doesn't have to. He's got an agent. His agent was replying every day. His representatives were replying every day. NBA is a business. That's a business. And when you get business with me, I send my people to talk to you. I'm a multi-millionaire. I play basketball. My image is being sold all over the world, baby. I don't have time to sit up and talk with you in your ivory tower. Sending my text message. I give it to my assistant. She can reply. I got to focus on this game. You trying to win games? You 1-8, 2-8. Ain't listening to us about a coach that can't coach us. Love my Steve Nash, that's my boy. But you weren't listening to these guys. You weren't listening. They said, man, Steve's not what we don't need Steve right now. We don't need Steve. And then what'd you do? You went and got rid of Steve 8 games into the season. You're not listening, Joe. You're not listening. This one's going to be a little bit long, people, because I got to get in your head. I done told you all these things were going to happen. I told you everything that was going to happen. This was Joe's war by himself. The Jewish community should never have gotten involved in this. Look what you've done. You've embarrassed yourself because the ADL is exposed. You've embarrassed yourself because the book and documentary From Hebrews to Negroes is #1. It's a #1 seller. You've embarrassed yourself because you've awokened a generation of black people who now look at Jewish people in a very negative light in just a matter of days. You think it will ever leave? The stigma that you Jewish individuals have created for yourself when the only thing you had to do was leave it alone. Kyrie, you knew Kyrie was never hurting you. You knew Kyrie was never fighting with you. These young little Jewish kids who are sitting at the sidelines of these games and saying, hi, Kyrie. Thanks, Kyrie. You think those little Jewish kids there, wearing, you put them in these T-shirts saying fight against anti-Semitism, made them political pylons? They came just to watch the basketball game. They want to wear Kyries on their feet. And you Zionists now are put these kids in a position where people are going to be looking at these little kids and be like, yeah, you little Jewish guys this and you little Jewish guys that. We didn't create that. You created it for yourself. You put your own children in harm's way when they're not politicians. They could care less. You know how many little Jewish kids I coach in basketball? How many little Jewish kids look up to me that across the years have been a part of teams